Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Halo Sobat Pintar, welcome back to Bincang Pintar, a fun podcast where we discuss about inspiring topics from the students' world. With me, Ulfa, as your host today. In this episode of Bincang Pintar, we're gonna talking about learning English, cultural experiences, and educational experiences. And today we have a special guest. So this came from United States. Wow, that was our country. Who will share his experience with us, and also joined by a director from World English Kampung Inggris Pare, who will accompanying us during this session. Alright, so let's see though. Hello, Mister.
Hello.
Okay, so before we start our discussion, Mr. Roy and Mr. Sugiarto, could you please introduce yourself and to our listeners?
Yeah, my name is Mr. Roy. I come from California, USA.
Yeah, and my name is Sugiarto, and I live in Kampung Inggris. I'm from West Java originally.
Alright, thank you for joining us today. It was a very happy day I can interviewing you guys. Alright, so let's start from the first question. Do you know in junior high school in Maospati we have an English Day program like this? So what do you think about this English Day program? And do you think it helps students to improve their English skills and their English confidence?
Right.
Is that right?
Oh, me first?
You?
First,
Okay. I think it's a good program. Students can improve their ability in English. However, English is not only depend on this one program. It should be habitual thing to do. It's not only in the school, but also your home with your parents, with your brothers, sisters. Because I believe that English is a matter of habit. Do you think, Mr. Roy?
I think that it's a good program, yes, but they need to be surrounded by the experience, by English community, and for them to be able to practice daily and not be afraid, like build their confidence, like my friend said about speaking at home. But it's kind of funny that way, because if you speak English and your parents don't, and they don't understand, but it's okay, because you don't really need a speaking partner. You can practice by yourself. You have to get into that habit of speaking daily. Maybe like in your school, if it's just 4 hours in a week, and then maybe on the weekend you have study club, bring your friends together, have study club, it will work even more.
Okay, I'm totally agree with your perspective. Like English is so important and you have to try to speak it every day. Okay, and then the second, it's about Indonesia. So you came from United States, right? Which is like the quite far from Indonesia. What was your first impression of Indonesia when you first arrived, and how long have you been staying here?
So when I first come to Indonesia, I didn't really get culture shock right away. Well, the food, yes, but the people, no, because I didn't come here what we call blinded. I come here open-minded. I met my wife 12, almost 13 years ago. A lot of people told me that, yeah, you're gonna go to Indonesia and you're not really gonna like it. Why do you want to move there? And I wanted a whole fresh start in life, and I chose to come here and not take my wife to the US because I made a promise. I made a promise to her family that I would not take her out of it, and I kept that promise. So I just left everything back home, and moved here. And I came here in 2013, and then I went home in 2013, and then I came back in 2014, and I've been here for 12 years now. And then 2021, I went back home because of pandemic, and that was the culture shock, going back. because everything changes.
Okay.
Everything changes. And do I miss my home? No, because I made Indonesia my home. And many people contradict me or they're angry to me because I didn't learn the language, but I learned the culture, the habits, and the arrogancy, just like we have in the U.S. You're arrogant to me, I'd be arrogant to you. But what I do is different than a lot of people. And I belong to a lot of organizations. We do charity. We ask for donation for cancer patients, help clean rivers, help plant trees. And when we do that, my students follow. And it's English every day when we go like that. And maybe you'll get an experience like that one time also when you get involved with communities like I do. Many people, older generation, can speak English still. But they just don't do it on a daily basis, right? So when I went home in 2021 and I was speaking with my mom and my sister, they told me, hey, your English is bad. My English is bad. Why you sound so broken? And I said, well, Indonesia, they're learning English, but a lot of the learners are basic and they're broken when they speak. So I put myself at your level, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
So you speak broken to me, I speak broken to you until we fix it. And then some of my friends said, hey, what's this weird accent you have? I'm like, accent? I'm thinking, oh, Jawa. Because even though I don't speak the language, I picked up the accent. And so my mom and them. But the biggest upset to me being here is I spent almost 10 years before I went home. And sometimes I called my mom, sometimes I didn't call. And then when I reverted into Islam, when I become Muslim. And it hurt my family, but now they're okay. But it's kind of like my choice, what I want. I didn't have to become Muslim to marry my wife, but I wanted a whole new look of life. And I live peaceful. I mean, simple. Many people think when the foreigner come here, they're rich. I didn't come here rich. My wife is not rich. We just, like I said, we live simple. I teach English every day. I don't even have to get up really if I don't want. But, the student need it. I'm here for the student, not like, I don't know, let me make sure I don't make a mistake on this. I'm here for you. You're not here for me. If you understand. You want to practice your English with me. So if I speak Indonesian or Bahasa Indonesia fluently, and you speak English to me, and I speak Bahasa to you, it's not fair.
Yeah, it's not fair.
So when I got a visit from the education department in Jakarta, and they saw me teaching my programs, and they were just like, oh, many foreigner can't do what you do. Many Indonesian tutors can't. I have a gift, and I use it. I don't hide that gift. And yeah, I mean, I get a lot of hate because I don't speak Indonesian. But if you go abroad and you speak Indonesian to someone, they're not going to know.
Yeah, they're not going to understand you.
And if you speak broken English, of course we're going to understand it because we're not the judge or the jury, just like many people think. But it doesn't have to be extreme. Your English doesn't have to be perfect, but to study English, you got to study the culture. The culture is that mix. So you start to understand how we live, how the lifestyle is fast, and what we do every day. We're not friendly with our neighbors, like Indonesian. You're so friendly with your neighbors. You talk. We just wake up in the morning, we get ready for work, our neighbor's outside, hello, get in the car and leave. We never hang out. Barbecues maybe once in a while, but I don't have a traditional dance like Indonesia has a traditional dance. We don't have traditional food. We eat everything that's there. So the culture shock to me, like I said, is the food, not the people. I don't eat spicy. I don't like spicy. My stomach don't like spicy. So I just adapt. And that's part of life, is you must adapt.
Okay, so you've been living here so long until you feel Indonesia is like your own home. And I hear your story that you really love your wife so much. And yeah, if I heard you do a lot of activities in Indonesia, about educational in Indonesia, and you teach a lot of students in Indonesia, right?
I just don't teach Indonesian students. So I teach Thailand student, I teach Japanese student, I teach Libyan student. I get many students in my course.
You're not only in Indonesia.
My course is basically what you can call international.
That's cool. Perfect. All right. I was really agree with you. Like, your perspective about it. So, and then I'm gonna. You said before that you teach students, right? So in Indonesia and America, of course, we have the different education system. So, in your opinion, what is the most fundamental difference between the education system in Indonesia and in the US?
Well, let's see. You guys go to school, I think 6 days a week.
Yeah.
You wear a uniform to school.
Yes.
We go 5 days a week and no uniform. We go from 8 o'clock till 3 o'clock. And then when we have holidays, our teachers never bother us. We're not lazy. But some of us really don't like school, even though we have to go to school. It's kind of, how do I say this like this? If you are sick and you miss 3 to 4 days of school, you'll get a knock on your door.
Yeah.
And then you open the door and it's the education system. Why isn't your child in school? Oh, he's sick. Well, he's missed this many days, blah, blah, blah. But if we're sick and stuff like that, the teachers usually send homework. That way we do the homework and everything like that. Our education it's okay. But what I see in Indonesia, sometimes the student never go to school. They just run around everywhere. And it's kind of like how to explain like how the education system should be. They should leave it alone, actually. Like, I taught in a school. I taught English in a school for a year here in Indonesia. And they always change the curriculum.
Yeah, that's true.
English 1 year, no English the next year. But then the teachers get the curriculum, the new, and they don't know how to teach it. It's just a book, right? So me teaching inside the school was an experience, actually, about the reaction of student, reaction of headmasters, parents. And I mean, the education system in Indonesia needs to be stronger. They need to really let the student study instead of forcing them to study. You graduate here, and then you want to go to university, and you pick a major, and you study that major, right? And then you want a job.
Yeah.
Then you plan for a job. So you have to prepare, right? So if we always overstudy, sometimes we get lazy.
Yeah.
And we don't want to overstudy. So it's just kind of like studying English. You study English every day, right? And then you get bored.
Yeah.
You just set it aside. You still know that you have something to do, but you just take a break. Today I don't really want to study English, but I have an exam tomorrow. So you just take 1 hour, 2 hours in the morning, and then maybe another 2 hours at night, so that you have the rest of the time to do whatever you have to do, that your parents want you to do, or what you need to do because when you overstudy, sometimes your brain gets so full.
Yeah, that's it. That's true. Okay, so the education between Indonesia and US is different, very different, right? And then you give me like the tips. Thank you so much.
So like like in your schools here, you go for your junior high school, you go 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
And then
7,
in
8, 9.
senior high school, you go 10, 11, 12.
Yeah.
So in the US, it's 7 and 8.
Only
And
that.
then you go 9, 10, 11, 12. 4 years in high school.
I see.
And many of you graduate so young. I mean, I graduated high school at 18, but I didn't go to university because I was already working. But some of you graduate university 16 years old. Like, wow, man. And like I had a student in my course, 16. And I said, oh, you just graduate senior high school? No, I graduated university. I'm, what? You know?
Yeah. Alright, so you have given me some tips, and right now, do you have any tips for our viewers on how to learn English, like not only English, but about like all the materials? And do you have any advice for students who want to study or go abroad, especially go to US?
Okay, so like the first tip for studying English is you must listen. Watch movies, podcasts, music, listen to the people around you. Don't overstudy grammar. Leave that alone. Learn how to read, how to write, how to speak, pronunciation, vocabulary. And then tips about how to go abroad is pick what you want to do. If you want to still study in university, find a university, and then hopefully you get accepted. English doesn't have to be 100% perfect to go abroad. Like I said before, they will understand you. I met a lady on Facebook, and she went to the US for 2 years and taught, I think 1 year maybe. Oh yeah, 1 year, and she taught Bahasa Indonesia. So she got the whole reality of English. It's really good. You just gotta practice everything. Practice everything. But then when you apply for a university, just don't apply for one. Find your major, find a university, and just open up the internet and just, you will get accepted. Going to the US, sorry to say this in YouTube, but it's difficult now. Very difficult.
Very difficult. All right.
I'm afraid to go. If I had to go home right now, I'd be afraid.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. You've been giving us the tips, and thank you so much for your tips. I think it will be very useful for all of us here, and then I'm sure our listener will find them very inspiring. Okay, before we end this episode, is there anything you'd like to say to our listeners, maybe?
Never give up. Don't
Never
let
give
and this is very important for me. You are learners of any language. Don't let anybody fool you. If somebody thinks that they're perfect, better than you, ask them, why are you still in Indonesia? How come you're not abroad yet? Why are you still scrolling social media and bullying me because I'm a learner? Don't do that.
Okay, thank you so much. And what about Mr. Sigarto? Do you have anything to say to the viewers?
Yeah, I meet a lot of students in the beginner, and sometimes they are afraid to make a mistake.
Yeah.
Which is actually very. It's something that we have to avoid. It is okay to make a mistake. It's okay to as long as you have uh, willing to study English. So you don't have to be so afraid to. It's okay to make a mistake as long as you keep studying. Okay, so speak whatever you want to speak. Maybe you do some mistake. It's not our language. English is not our language, so it's okay to make mistakes. Keep practicing.
Okay, thank you very much for Mr. Sugiarto and Mr. Roy for coming here today. I'm really sorry if I make a mistakes. I'm really sorry. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for sharing your experience and insight with us today. It was a very pleasure in having you on Bincang Pintar podcast today. All right. So thank you, Sobat Pintar, for listening to this special episodes. We hope today's discussion inspires you to keep learning, practicing English, and exploring new opportunities. That's all from me. The last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you on the next podcast. Bye.
Peace.